Hi, this is Tammy Duncan with Epiphany Healing Arts, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the golden grid of Christ consciousness, something you may have never heard about, and why it is so important to bring this information to the autism community, because the children hold such an important role in our humanity today and in this world. We're going to talk about what we can do in our hearts and the shifts that we can make in order to allow society to wake up to what's been going on in our world. And the children come through as our master teachers to teach us. And we're going to have action items of what we can do in order to change everything, change it all for the better. So thank you for watching. This is Tammy Duncan. This is like the juice of my work, my soul purpose work. And let me explain what all of this stuff means. First of all, what is gridding? Gridding is the creation of ley lines, which are invisible lines connecting one point to another point on the earth. The grid is like the geometric formation that the lines form once they are connected. So point, 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 and then with them all connected creates this grid. The earth currently is filled with ancient ley lines created by the ancients, the Egyptians, the Anukis, the Mayans, etc. Some are believed to be from Atlantis as well. The Atlanteans created. The ley line and the connection points are thought to be powerful energetic forces. Some people, though, do believe that they have been used for destructive forces in the past, even though, and of course, more so than destruction, is beautiful, beautiful, amazing forces. But some people believe that that these ley lines have been used and running dark energy through them. But with people really working in the grids and working with the connections and the energy of them, that can be transmuted, that can be changed, that can be cleansed, that can be re-intentioned and manifested very powerful, amazing energy. So there are people that are constantly like checking and tuning into it. And so you'll read about stuff like that online. And it's some of the most out there things that you can read because you're like, wait, what are these people doing? I'm completely aware of that. So then when I was called to do something in the gridding, I was kind of surprised. I had to really learn what in the heck it really is. So this is just, it's a little hard to read, but this is just a list of different places that have been identified as these connector points that have ley lines running through them that are very, very powerful, through the pyramids, through, I mean, you can just look at the list. Even, it's not on this list, this particular list, but Sedona is very famous for their vortexes and the ley lines that run through them. There's Bimini, and you know, Bimini in the Bahamas is also a completely amazing place for the dolphins. The dolphin energy there is off the hook. Someday I would love to bring a trip there and swim with the wild dolphins. Bring some of the girls there, some of our group there. But you can see there's all of these different spots that have been identified. And then you can map them on the earth, and then you can see how it creates like a grid. How they all connect together. So just to give you kind of a real general example of what it's all about. I think that number 17 there right in the middle is Sedona. It could also be New Mexico, I'm not sure, because there's some quite powerful spots in New Mexico. So the grids are actually fractal and holographic, so you don't see them with your bare eyes. They span all of creation. They include many dimensional levels. So although we don't see them in the 3D, we've identified them in the 3D, but they're not just in Earth. They are in other higher dimensional states too, levels, but they can correspond to the entire physical universe. The physical universe does not exist without these grids because the grids distribute the life force energy. They provide the templates needed for material creation and much more. They are not inanimate, but are a blueprint of consciousness expressed in a harmonic form. Remember, everything is sound, everything is energy, everything is vibration. So this is like the vibration of life force, the vibration of consciousness. Now, there's a great teacher. He actually, I think, lives in Sedona. Also, Druvalno, I think I spelled his name wrong, Drunvalo Melchizedek. He, if you read in any of his books, Flower of Life, it's all in my Kindle. There's a whole bunch of books that he's written. He was called by Thoth, which is an ancient Egyptian god, an ancient Egyptian god. Yes, I think he was the scribe, if I remember right. He was called by Thoth in spirit to create some new grid spots, and to fix some, repair, and then create some new spots on Earth. And the concept was that the essence of awakening energy up until this point has really come out of like India, but now there's this need to move a lot of the grid energy down more into the South American, Mayan, and Polynesian locations. So he was asked to visit several of those locations, especially in Maya, and do sacred ceremony to sort of activate or repair those spots. It's very powerful work that he did. So for me, though, from my work in the autism community, my work in my heart, my work with being guided to build the labyrinth in my backyard, according to my meditations and channelings, we are being called to awaken the Jesus or the Christ within us. And this is called the second coming, as stated in the Bible. And so in order to do that, we have to find that place within us where unconditional love exists and expands. And so this is why I'm being called to create a new grid. Not just me, but to stimulate the creation of a new grid. And let me tell you about that. It starts with the autism frequency. So there's millions of children who are holding this frequency that we call autism, who are in fact master teachers, who have come here to help us clear out the blockages, balance the over-masculinized energy in our society, and find a space of unconditional love within us. We are blind, born, and deaf to all of this, like with total amnesia, right? But it's our journey in this lifetime to discover our own path to awaken this space of unconditional love within us. The kids are here to push us gently, or sometimes forcibly, into remembering who we are. So the numbers of autism, no matter what people are doing, are increasing and increasing and increasing every year. Because there has not been enough people getting it, awakening, uncovering their blindness and their deafness, and stepping into that space of unconditional love to make a difference. So they're coming through bigger and bolder in more numbers until more and more as a society can begin to shift. So the children communicate telepathically most efficiently when we imagine a golden ray made of unconditional love. And I like to think of it, I call it my yellow brick road meditation, where we imagine that we're on the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road is a metaphor for the golden ray, this golden energy. And that golden energy emanates Christ consciousness, unconditional love. Okay? So when we step into that energy and imagine that we can meet them there, you can connect with the children, and they will tell us everything we need to know and everything we need to remember. But in order to step onto that road, we have to really come into our hearts. We can't step into that energy when we're running fear, when we're running resentment and anger. Only when we can step on that road and meet them, when we can come to a space of love in our hearts, when we can come to that space. And then we can imagine being on that road, and there they are there to meet us, and they can show us who we really are. And that's what they're asking us to do. So when I call this new grid the golden ray of Christ consciousness, that's way so you can understand it's this gold energy, and it emanates unconditional love. And that's what the kids are asking us to do. So the parent's role in this is huge and essential. And why, if you have a child diagnosed with autism, why you do. Because in order for the world to be infused with unconditional love, the parents must journey to awaken to their own divinity, their own divine self. The parents are asked to strongly and firmly take a stance to become a generator of unconditional love, which is the Jesus within them, or the God within them, expressing into the world. This is not a religious thing. This is this unconditional love energy. So now, what's the grid? How does that have anything to do with any of that, right? Each parent is called to create a space on their land called a parent power point. This is a point on the grid. Our goal, and this is what I've been given in my meditations, is to discover and activate 27 Christ consciousness power spots. These are like new spots, like those big places on the map that I showed you. And right now we've uncovered 2. So I have work to do. And then the next goal is 5,000 Christ consciousness power points around the world. This is on the parents' land. Okay, this is the parents' part. The 5,000 Christ consciousness power points. And then to activate these spaces, these points, on the full moon, every full moon for the next 12 years. That's the next goal. And we've done that since we started a little less than a year ago. The next goal is to contribute to moving humanity to the next level of consciousness by our commitment to this work. So by creating these spaces, the power points and the power spots, connecting all of the spots and activating them with that Christ consciousness, that unconditional love energy, helps to contribute moving humanity to the next level of consciousness. It's love in action is what we're doing. So what is a PowerPoint? It's 1 large rose quartz, 20 amethysts, 4 clear quartz, Palm Springs gold, which is this golden gravel that's in the middle there around the other stones. And then we ask each family to then make the perimeter of the circle with native stones that are from the area of the land where you live, the land where you're building this PowerPoint. See, all of the crystals here and the rose quartz, the amethyst, the clear quartz, and the Palm Springs gold, those are all charged for 30 days in a power spot location. Right now it's at the labyrinth in my backyard. I charge all the crystals there for 30 days in that energy of that, infused with that unconditional love energy. And then we send them out to the parents for them to create this space on their land. Then on the full moon, we do an activation. The parent does their own special private activation ceremony for their land. And then we do a more global one where we connect all of the points. You can see the map back behind me. I track everything on the map. So here is my labyrinth in the backyard. And this is a Christ consciousness power spot. As I was building the labyrinth, there's crystals all throughout in the structure of it. It's hard to see there, but it's built, the main stones are these Mexican pebble stones, which creates the whole shape of it. But within all of that, especially in the center, there's a giant, about the size of a big bowling ball, clear quartz crystal cluster. There are rose quartz, there are amethysts in the center, and then all around the perimeter, every couple feet or every foot or so, there's a different stone. There's even whale fossils, there's sodalite, there's amethyst druzy, there's all kinds of things in the perimeter and also in leading in the entrance. And it changes all the time. I just added another stone that's not in the picture to the walkway. I'm constantly picking up and tuning into the stones to see if it's part of their purpose to be part of the labyrinth. And every stone that we charge in the labyrinth for the PowerPoints, I've tuned in, is this part of your soul work to be part of this grid work? So all of them are completely aligned and in tune with the work we're doing the grid. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And then you can see, this is just a very rough example. These, this right here is just the power spots, the one in Sedona and one in Corona, California. And then as we get more and more power points, they all connect to the power spots as well. I think right now we have 20 power points and then 2 power spots. We have quite a lot of work to do, but we will do it. So what is the purpose? It's to anchor the 5th dimensional, because that Christ conscious energy exists in the 5th dimension and other dimensions above. And so we want to bring that energy of unconditional love into Earth in the 3D. It also provides an opportunity for people to discover their own Christ consciousness and amplify that energy into the world. So it helps you to tune into your unconditional love and then amplify and spread that out. The power spots, the big spots, are the large vortex connections. Invisible sacred geometry is used to connect through all dimensions, space, and time the Christ consciousness energy. The power points that's on the parent's land are the amplification points and the human connection. So this is where these points, the 5,000 that we'll eventually have spread all around the world, these are amplifying the energy into our daily lives, into the land all around. And so this as above, so below is the complete goal, bringing the heavenly energy in its fullest expression, expanding out into the earth and into the humans, to all beings on earth. Due to and all of the kingdoms play a role here. So for the crystal and rock kingdom, they play a huge role in the gridding. Due to the high amount of silica in our soul, we use crystals in the grid kits and power spots to hold and move the energy. The silica in the soil creates a traveling wave of energy on the intended ley lines. So cool. The plant kingdom, our trees participate using the root structures to support the movement of the energies and the acknowledgement of the importance of the plant kingdom, so that they move the energy and support the energy movement through the roots of the trees and the plants. And in the animal kingdom, the dolphins, the whales, the birds, the dragonflies, all of them, among others, are integral, so important in moving the ley lines above the earth, but also through the oceans and the waterways, easily and effortlessly. So the birds and the flyers moving the lines in our air, in our above ground, and then through the water. Also the water holding the frequency and intention of the grid. Water around the grid points and lines may become holy water because it's holding that energy there. To me, this is so exciting. It's like my crown chakra is like right now, just telling you guys about it. So all of the kingdoms and the elements, remember we do the ceremony on the full moon. And the purpose is so that the 30 days where everything is being charged, those crystals, and it's outside, they experience all of the elements. They experience the sun, they experience the wind moving across them, the earth that they're on, the full moon and the new moon, and the stars and the night. It's all there. And so all are assisting in this work, and all light beings, seen and unseen, are also supporting as well. And again, the animal kingdom is really like a partner in this. They're working in conjunction with the grid work as they are seeking also to create awareness of the souls of animals, the respect and honoring deserved to them equally as humans. Our dogs and cats and horses are serving as bridge animals that bridge, because they can teach this to us more easily because they come into our hearts more profoundly because they spend so much time with us. So they help us to stir and open that unconditional love in us. And when you begin to awaken into your spiritual gifts, many people do become vegan because they start to see the souls and the light beings in everything. Yeah. And of course, the full moon. Every full moon is when the sacred ceremony takes place, both to activate the new power points, anchor the points into the 3D grid map, and then on a personal level to renew our commitment to being generators of unconditional love. It's a good opportunity for each person that has created this space on their land to have this opportunity to check in and check themselves. Where am I at with unconditional love in my life? What can I still work on? What can I do differently? So it's a good opportunity to check in with ourselves. So in July of this year, I had quite the download of information because I put out there, who's helping and who's supporting this grid work process. And here's what came. First, the angelic realm. They're working on the as earth as it is in heaven energy. And they showed me the energy coming through deep into the earth, but also connecting to the heavenly realm. So very strong here. Also put the Pleiadians, inspiration, working with people to do their part, creating multiple grid layers happening in the 5th dimensional grid around the earth. We might hear, other people have done something like this, but they said it's not done because other people are working on layers of it. So if you hear of other people working on Christ consciousness gridding, that's another layer that they're doing, and we're doing a layer. The birds, it's as if they are channeling a whole other race of beings we aren't aware of. The birds are. They're laying energetic grid lines, unseen, connecting in the 3D, but also above the ground level. The dolphins, this is some of the stuff we talked about. The dolphins, they're covering the oceans, working with the animal kingdom, plants and waters, bringing in all of the elements to assist in every way. They also are amplifiers of the energy with the grid lines they lay through their sonar connections. They say no area is left unattended. And then they say the rest is in the flow. So it's so beautiful. So once it's complete, this is the vision. There's no need for the current expression of autism in its current form. We then are in a more awakened state. We are in our divine expression. We are in love and complete respect of our world and all beings. So ultimately, this is the ultimate goal too. But this is what I saw once it's complete and really love in action. This is the completion of it. This is what happens. So this is why it's so cool and so important. So I'm calling you to participate if you're watching this, because your soul at some level has raised its hand and you've come into my world in some way. So you're being asked to participate by doing a PowerPoint on your land, by staking your claim on your land to say, my land, where I am right here, we are generators of unconditional love, and imagine that spreading out. So it's so beautiful. So if it's something that you're like, you know what, yeah, I want to do that, then go to that link right there. It's on my website, epiphanyhealingarts.com, and then click on the Love in Action picture, or go directly to the link and just read more about it. See what you think. This is big time work. This is serious, and it's awesome. Amazing. It's amazing to think that you could be part of something where all of those kingdoms, the elements, and all of these beings are in full support of. Thank you, my friends, for listening. If you'd like to participate, please just go to epiphanyhealingarts.com, and I send you love and blessings from my home to yours. Have a great day. Goodbye.